What's up, y'all? Zazo here with another video for y'all. In this video, I'm redoing it because I did the whole thing and my mic was muted. So yeah, that's kind of fun. So I'm gonna actually speed it up this time around. This video's whole purpose is to show the most optimal places for anybody healing to pop their supercharges. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so this first set, do not pop a super here. People have scrap of the soul cloak and they have flash. They have super for at least the next 3 or 4 ad sets. Pop your super on 3 through 6. So this is where I call 3 through 6 is right here. You pop it there. That's the best spot. It's going to help the troll. And it's going to allow all the DPSs to run down to this area where they can get cogs. Pop another super at the bottom. Your supercharged shield should be reset. If you are any power with a supercharged shield, it should be reset. If you're nature, you might have to wait just a little bit longer, but you'll be good. But if you are nature, you'll only be able to pop probably 2 on the hallway because of the reset. You won't get a reset with nature, so you'll probably only be popping 2. Now make sure you have your third super popped after that door, and make sure you pop it as middle in between that first set after this door and that last set. Try to get right in the middle. That's gonna be the best spot. That's where the tank, if they are knowledgeable, that's where they will leave all of the ads. Alright, so I check the board, just a normal thing that I do. As you see, I have a supercharge. Alright, I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit. I switched armories here. Now a lot of you won't, and you do not have to. This armory has Philosopher's Stone. So in this armory, all I'm simply doing is going into my Philosopher's Stone armory, so I pop the art for the DPSs to have a 15-second buff or whatever. Now here is where I actually made a mistake. You do not want to pop a heal ability or anything. The moment you do, you actually draw aggro from the bosses. Now because I noticed that, I immediately walked very, very close to the tank, and I purposely placed Martian there. And then after I placed Martian there, I walked back to my group and I popped my 10k shield. Now unfortunately, one of my lead mates died. That is just unlucky. As his CR goes up, he will be able to take more hits because he'll have more health. So we popped the 1 super on this boss. Also, note, I want to back up just a little bit. So notice that not only did I pop my super there, all of the DPSs are not hitting that cog, that last cog. They're not hitting the container. All of my DPSs are here. Everybody is here except for the troll. All of these are my DPSs. Everybody here, they're all my DPSs. All of the people here are my DPSs. The last person to come was the troll. So make sure your first green on the boss, all of the DPSs are on the boss. Do not pop a super before all of the DPSs are fighting the boss. If you do that, somebody will lose out on supercharge and they won't have the max amount of supercharge that they could have received from you. The most supers you'll get in between boss fights while you're actually fighting the boss, the max might be between 2 and 3. And an average group is between maybe 3, 4 and up on first, second, and last boss. But in a good group where the DPSs and the troll are really doing their thing and the tank is able to hold the bosses, still it's only going to be about 2. 2 is going to be your max. So if you are doing a speed run and you end up with like an 8-9 minute run, the max amount of supers you're going to be popping is probably between like 11 and 13. And I'm excluding the 4 that you'll end up popping up to last boss. There's about 4 in between that you'll naturally pop. I'm not including that. but the number is literally between, it's like 11 through 13 or more. The most being about 16 supers. Now, normally in this room, I don't come into this fight. I normally don't come into this fight, pop a green there. I did it because I felt like it was useful. I felt like it helped the tank worry less about his health and more about getting the ads. So I decided to pop my first green there. The most optimal spot in a very fast burn group will be to wait until the tank starts the boss. Okay, if you wait until the tank starts the boss, that'll be the best time, and then more than likely you'll get your shield reset, so you'll have 2 supers to pop back to back. And if you're healing in this room, be aware the ads do come for you as the healer, so you gotta always be aware and move when you need to. So far, the run is going good on the second boss. We are about to bump into a oopsie. One of my league mates died, and I did the dumb thing, and I decided to pick up. And unfortunately, the timing was right around when Superboy's gonna do his beam. Everybody gets up, except for Uzi, so Uzi is gonna be out of this fight. I have my supercharge shield. I'm not popping it because everybody that could be picked up is not up. Once everybody is picked up, I hit galvanize into my 10k, and I'm giving them super. So right now, the only person not being able to get his super is Uzi in my group. So when we go into this last boss, I will have to pop additional supers so that way he can get his supercharge. Alright, we pop. Boss fights is usually the same. It don't really, once you popping, you popping. We're walking into this last boss fight with a super though. I normally try to walk into whenever you have to TP, it's a good thing if you can walk in there with a super. If you can time everything well and walk in with a super, that's usually really good, especially if it's a shield supercharge. Sorry, I just died on my words there. Alright, this is 1, but we're not counting it. We already got a second shield. We're gonna pop that. That's gonna be 2. That's gonna be, I see a third one. That's gonna be 3. That's 4. That's 5. So the last thing I want to add here is, if you have a supercharge tab and you know the DPSs are full, stop hitting your supercharge generator. And well, obviously if they have max super, you only need to hit soul bolt for yourself to build your own super. At this point in time, I think my whole group is full of super, but I actually don't know because I have this evil icon over my my chat bar, so I actually can't tell. But it looks like, I'ma guess out of all of them, I think Uzi said he needed super because he died, so I popped another one. Now notice that I popped it after the tank came back. The tank came back after the third one, so this is actually the 4th phase. So I need to build my super up quick here so I can pop a supercharge first thing when the boss starts. Now unfortunately, this is the 4th phase, so because I'm hitting my supercharge generator, I think at some point I had got the reset. So by the time we start the boss, I'm not gonna have a reset on my supercharge when we start it, but we're gonna see. This is a run I did earlier today. When I throw the container in, my troll got took. I heal first, pop my 10k. My 10k reset, which is perfect. Now I'm hitting Starbolt. As you see, my supercharge is building very fast off that Starbolt. Oh my god, Starbolt, EOG, Scrap Flash, just amazing. Quizlet. I'm gonna get a second super, and I'm not gonna get a third. I will not be getting a third super here. I want to just throw Starbolt. Boss is dead, and this run is over. Now I'm going to show you guys another. I want to show y'all another run. So that was my first run. This is the second run. We got into the raid. There's no supercharge on this first set because it's not needed. Like I said earlier, a lot of DPSs have Scrap of the Soul Cloak as a artifact, and they have Flash as a ally. Those are very, very powerful. Those are two very powerful pieces to maintain supercharge. So pop your supercharge on this specific set here. It's going to be a shield for your entire group. You're not going to have to stress about healing. The tank will not have to stress about pulling. The troll can do their part. They'll also have a shield. So that's the best spot to pop your first super in the raid. Your second super should come on in this area here. So here is somebody's gonna open up the door, and then ads will spawn and cogs will need to be hit. This is going to help the tank worry about pulling over their own health. This is gonna let whoever wants to get containers, they can get the containers. It's gonna allow you to not stress about healing and more of you building your supercharge. So that's the next very important spot to pop your super. The last spot you're gonna want to pop your super is, of course, right after that door opens. There's gonna be 2 ad sets. You need to pop a super there. So you're gonna pop 3 supers guaranteed before first boss, and on your way to first boss, as long as you have Black Adam, you'll be able to continue to build your supercharge if you don't walk into the room with one. Now, as you notice, last attempt I walked into this room with a supercharge. This attempt I'm not, but I'm still hitting my supercharge generator with Black Adam on to build my super. Alright, I'm gonna fast forward a bit. Now, mind you, you are not in combat as a healer in this room until you start popping your heals after the tank pulls. You do not want to hit your heal abilities if they last do not proc. You also, if you have an armory with Dead King or Philosopher's Stone, you can literally pop your Philosopher's Stone, Dead King, swap your armory before you do any damage, and you will not be in combat and your armory will not be locked. So I decided that I wanted to be in combat because I'm not swapping my armory after this anyhow. If it was a speed run, I normally do, so I would have not gotten combat. And here is where I made my first mistake. I forgot to pop my super before I swapped my armory. So I got in combat and then I didn't pop no super, and I waited, so people died because they didn't have a shield. And then even after they died, I made a second crazy mistake and I didn't even heal at all. I didn't even heal. I was like waiting for them to get up to try to pop, but they just died right away. But it's all right. They got up and we popped the super. And notice how, even though I didn't pop a super and I didn't mess up, everybody is there to get the supercharge. It's very important when you're healing on these bosses that you're waiting for your whole team to get there and get their supercharge, because if you don't know, this game broke EOG, and even back in the day when it was better and easier to use, there is line of sight with Eye of Gemini, and there are times when people in the group do not get any super even though you pop supercharge. That will result in people calling you maybe a bad healer, a bad EOG spammer, or just saying that they didn't get any greens, or just saying that they didn't get super. They just got LOS bugged. Don't worry about that. It happens, and that is not in your control if they are getting LOS bugged. We walked into this room with another super again. We popped one here. So if anybody needed a super at the start of the boss fight, they now have it. And as you see, we got I think I got the shield reset. Wasn't really paying attention, but we already have another supercharge. So by the time my tank starts this boss, we will have another super for our team. I'm going to go ahead and get in there. I'm going to pop my super, pop my orbital. I'm going to roll back to the edge of this green, so that way I'm still getting it, but I'm not getting too beat up by the ads. I'm going to hit my generator. I'm going to break out. Now I'm going to start spamming Starbolt because everybody's max health. Now understand, if you can't do the last part of Starbolt, do not do it. You should be healing out of Starbolt. So if people are losing health and you need to heal, you heal out of Starbolt. So you just immediately hit your heal abilities. You don't finish Starbolt. This was a much better second boss this second time around than the first time around. This was more satisfactory. Um, oh, and that's a good. I think an ad came to hit me. I didn't really move. I should have rolled, but I knew my stats and I knew I was gonna get a page proc, so I didn't move. If you are getting hit by an ad and it's hitting you that slow, you need to move out the way. So I could have done better there, and I could have gave page procs to somebody else if I would have moved, but I was lazy. So I just did this. So that was kind of bad on my end. As you know, you need to at least pop one super between every cog. I probably pop about 5 or 6 before first boss, but 4 should be the max that you pop. After 4, you should be more looking to build your own super. The game should be on the 4th container, and you should now be starting that last boss. So I'm going to kind of skip here because this is like the biggest waste of time in this raid. Wow, like this last part is like takes so long. Alright, so we're on 4th phase here. I have a lot more super, but I didn't get my reset on my shield, sadly. So what I should have done here is between the 3rd and 4th cog, I should have stopped hitting my supercharge generator, so I could have guaranteed that I got the reset. I didn't do that, so I didn't get a reset, so I got an EOG at the very end. It's okay because technically 1 green is good enough. They're max super, and you pop 1 super, they'll still be like 80%, 90%. And when I looked in Juke's stream on his Josh character, he ended this boss fight with about 50 to 70% super. So it was still overall very good EOG heal attempt. What else do I feel like saying? I'm going to drop the link at the bottom of this video to my Twitch stream. If you need help with trolling, healing, tanking, you can come in there and ask me questions. I will help you. I'll point you in the right directions in terms of allies and artifacts. Also, make sure you are checking out my league mates stream, Juke streams, Uzi streams, Mike streams, Clear streams, 3 streams, I stream. We got people over there in Stellar that also stream. Grin streams, Thug streams, Brando streams. Make sure y'all checking everybody out. We're all pretty good players, pretty knowledgeable of the game, and you can always learn a thing or two. I appreciate y'all time. I'm out.